first segment of the hidden gems of the Goetia and the Goetic divines. Our first one is going to be President Marbas. This is his depiction in the Goetia Tarot in Darkness, and he is actually the Hierophant card, and the zodiac sign on the card is Mercury in Aries. He is the fifth spirit of the Goetia, and I'll be reading an excerpt from this computer for a little faster. From the Goetia, the Lesser Key of Solomon the King, written by S.L. McGregor Matthews, and I'm quoting it. The fifth spirit is Marbas. He is a great president and appeareth at first in the form of a great lion. But afterwards, after the request of the master, he putteth on human shape. He answereth truthfully of things hidden or secret. He causes diseases and cureth them. Again, he giveth great wisdom and knowledge in mechanical arts, and can change man into other shapes. He governeth 36 legions of spirits, and his seal is this, which is to be worn as a foresaid, and then his sigil, which is also right there at the top right of the card. There we go. So let's take this piece by piece and really dissect this to really see his deeper potential. He is a great president. Okay, that is his title. He appeareth at first in the form of a great lion. So, symbolically, a lion, an authoritative figure, someone who is respectable, somebody who is pretty much, I would best say, well respected in the aspect of what he excels in. In this case, is mechanical arts and medicine. So he is seen as a figure that is highly respected in those practices. And he also has that be known throughout essentially the other poetic spirits and of Lucifer's side. But afterwards, at the request of the master, he putteth on human shape. So usually when I see that, it's symbolically saying that if somebody cannot understand him at his purest state, he's able to adapt and pretty much communicate and express himself in a way that whoever is interacting with him can better understand it. It's like that little talent of being able to adapt to somebody's intelligence, if that makes sense. So if somebody is trying to communicate with him and they don't understand him, he's able to adapt and be able to communicate in a way that they can understand or teach whatever he's being asked of to teach in a more simplistic way. He answereth truthfully of things hidden or secret. So anything at all that is kept secret or hidden or equivocated, because that is a form of keeping something hidden and not giving out the full truth. It's not lying, but it's still not all the way out there. So he's able to give those facts. And now, truly, if things hidden or secret that can be used in any way, benefic or malefic. In other words, if something is saying, if somebody you're trying to talk to about a certain situation that happened and you need to know what the answer is or how it happened, and they don't want to tell you because it's pretty damaging to them, like it actually left a psychological mark on them, and they're not comfortable talking about it, Marbas will be able to step in and give you that information without having to put them in a bad situation. And anything that's secret, like for an example, if somebody is not being truthful or honest, Marbas will be able to give that information that you're seeking. He causes diseases and cureth them. This is where we can get a little fancy. Diseases, afflictions. Usually afflictions come in whenever there's a way inward. Diseases usually come about, like say if you take a cut and it gets infected, that is an infection by a cut, an abrasion, and that's when the disease is able to pour in. So with that in mind, here's a little outside the box. Marbus can help you infiltrate. For an example, he can help you with hacking. He can help you hack into things. He can help you break into things that are supposed to be secure. Because diseases, they have to have a way in. They have to breach. And hacking is you're breaching into something that's protected. The physical body naturally has an immune system, which keeps it out. Breaking into it, it surpasses the immune system and starts taking the more decaying aspect to the body. But since he knows how to infiltrate, he also knows how to get himself out. So he can help you infiltrate to do whatever you need to do. Like say if you need to hack a certain computer, being able to get in, get your information, and get out. He can help you infiltrate and then exit without any kind of detection whatsoever. This is sometimes how creative you can get and really taking things an extra step further. Causes diseases. Now, again, diseases can be anything that is not normal that causes damage. So any form of decay, he can afflict that. But at the same time, since he can afflict it, he can also mend it and remove it. Now, such as poisoning, any kind of something that's not natural for the human body that causes a state of decay, he can afflict that or he can remove it. So essentially, he can also causing diseases does not have to be just by a human. It can also be used in the way of like saying if there's a lock on something, he can also help corrode it, causing diseases. A disease is something that afflicts to something on the physical plane that decays it. A lock, as time goes on, it decays. It gets weaker and weaker and weaker. Time takes a hold. But at the same time, since that idea of him afflicting disease and causing something to decay, he can actually reverse it, meaning that he can actually fortify. So say if you have something like a lockbox that has possessions valuables in it, he can actually help secure and ensure that it stays secure and like enhance its immune system, protections, making it harder to breach. Same thing if you have like a computer that has very sensitive, tentative information on it. He can help support the firewall. He can help boost the defenses. He can prevent spyware, malware, any kind of viruses, or any form of harm coming to your computer and having your data be breached. He's also very good at doing identity protection. And of course, the medicinal parts too. He giveth great, he giveth great wisdom and knowledge in the mechanical arts. Now, mechanical arts. Don't just limit yourself to machinery and metal. Don't limit yourself. Mechanical, by concept, is having many pieces or many small attributes to something work together in unison to be able to move. That's that's mechanics. It's the understanding of how something operates. What's something that's mechanical? A human body. You know how many bones and how many muscles and how many fine details it takes just to have your hand do this? That's a lot. That's mechanical. So, Marbus Can also help you if you want to study physical therapy. If you want to go into the arts of physical therapists or any form that involves the human body and actually doing anything to strengthen, building fine motor skills, building even gross motor skills. Heck, this is probably going to be a good one. It can actually help you dig into some of the fine-tuned parts of the human body and all their systems. For an example, if you have neuropathy, he can actually help you go deep into it and try and figure out what's going on here. Because like before, neuropathy is a disease, is an affliction that causes decay in the body. And he also cures said diseases. Mechanical, that's going into the nervous system. It's trying to figure out the fine-tuned parts of what's causing this neuropathy to happen. Because neuropathy is a disease that you have no idea what's causing it. Simply just touching a nerve can cause it. And the way the nerves are, you can simply touch a nerve, nothing happens, but then you touch another nerve down on the foot, right here, a nerve up here, loses itself. It just goes crazy. That's how crazy nerves and neuropathy can be. Marbas can help bring an understanding to that, and he can actually teach you to understand how it operates. And of course, he can also give wisdom and teach about mechanical work such as automobiles, robotics, computer science, anything that involves stereotypical technology, computer science, network security, let's see, and say like operating like a conveyor belt, anything that involves many things working together as a unit to accomplish a task, because that's mechanical. Even dentistry, because when you're a dentist, what is one of the things you have to do? You have to use your fine mechanical skills to operate on somebody's teeth. You're going into the fine tuning parts of somebody's mechanical of their mandible and what is that term called? Maximal, I believe. I could be wrong, but nonetheless. Marvis, you can see how deep you can really get into this. And just had a, oh, this again does not limit to anything. Mechanical can be even something as simple as having a group of people working together. Mechanical, the fine tuning of a line, an assembly line, like a line of workers, your people are your mechanics of that assembly line. They're the fine tuning of how it operates. So, he can also give knowledge and wisdom on how to have a team of people work together better. And that is exactly how in depth you can get. And actually starting to think that, wow, I wasn't expecting this. That's the point of the series. We're really going deep into this to really open up what he has potential to do. And I mean, there's probably way, if you like to know, like how ancient ancient um, ancient cultures such as Babylonian and even in India, they had behind a door that's locked by mantras. They actually believe that behind that door is actually aircraft that was charged just by using mantras as the fuel. Marvis can inform you about that and teach you about it and teach you the understanding of how that works if you would like to know that. In fact, he probably might even tell you how to even build it if you're so inclined. And he can change men into other shapes. In other words, he can help you adapt to any situation regardless of what you're facing, what you're tasked to do, or anything that's you're going to be encountering in your life. Marvis can actually really help you be able to adapt and whatever situation you're facing. The governor is 36 legions of spirits, and his seal, I've shown that, but I would say if you're going to be working alongside Marvis, make your own symbol. But if you're just wanting to go right into interacting with him, you may, of course, obviously use this poetic seal. And if you notice, I didn't even really speak about mathematics because usually mechanical, you need mathematics. So, like using the mastery of, like, say, geometry, trigonometry, calculus, you need to have mechanical skill from mathematics to even do your mechanics, to do the fine tuning. Then actually taking a look at his card in the Goetia to Our Own Darkness as the Hierophant card. As you know, if you happen to watch my other series or any other videos, when the Hierophant pops up, I usually go, oh, the he who want, the notice me guru. Not in this regard. In this regard, having Marbas as the Hierophant, I can actually say this card fits him perfectly because Marbas is actually able to teach you the ins and outs of the fine mechanical skills of life, health, wellness, understanding how things work and how life works at the finest level. I don't know about you, but that does sound like a guru figure. Somebody who guides you through life, trying to teach you and understanding how A causes B and B to move, and thus C moves too. The fine-tuned things of life. That fits pretty well with me. And Mercury in Aries. Mercury is essentially your mundane, everyday forms of learning and pretty much teaching, like, say, basic math, literacy, basic social studies, government, pretty much the core. And I mean, Claudia, were you happening to expect any? Were you expecting me to go this fine-tuned in saying, here is some other hidden gems about Marbas? Because yes, this is how my mind thinks, and this is how much potential these goetic divines have that are being glossed over. And I mean, this is. I think this is probably going to be the best service I can actually give back to these goetic divines. My best give back to them. But as I was saying, Mercury in Aries. So Mercury is your everyday intelligence that you need to have of the everyday world. And Aries, as we know, Aries is the sign, the first sign of the zodiac, the sign of initiative, youthfulness, impulsivity, physical body, exercise, the self. So Mercury, everyday intelligence with initiative. So this can show that Marbas takes initiative when he teaches. So if there's something that you have to learn, and if you interact with him, he'll take the initiative and say, "You must know this. You need to learn this." And he also stresses healthy living, meaning that if you're not really taking care of yourself, he will push healthy living on you and also heavily advise exercise, pretty making sure that your physical body is up to shape, and also giving you the directive to take more initiative on things, and also pursue subjects that will benefit you in the long run and to get snappy with it. But as the Hierophant card, also known as, I don't want to say the Pope because that's counterintuitive. That's what I'd rather just say as the Guru card. He's actually the one that's able to give the wisdom that is going to be best to guide you with. That's going to be not only on the higher forms of thinking, but as well as the everyday intelligence, like everyday living. He'll be able to provide the best form of guidance in terms of medical, even career. If you're wanting to do something that involves mechanical skill, automobile, even medicine, like physical therapy, even a specific orthopedic surgeon. There's another one. And that's actually a really notable thing. And I believe I've gotten pretty much. Oh, I just love when that happens. Another thing just popped in my head. Marvis, believe it or not, He can actually teach you the formulas to actually calculate astrological placements accurately. Because with astrology placements, believe it or not, to figure out divisional charts and finding the fine-tuned parts of, say, like the specific angle degree of an aspect by orb, you need to have the fine-tuned mathematical skill to accurately pinpoint that. I mean, the imagery shows him perfectly doing that right there with the compass. You need to have that fine-tuned, precise degree in order to draw that perfect line of aspect. So, believe it or not, Marbas can help you in a way that it's actually able to pinpoint drawing a perfect connection to something. It can help you bring something that doesn't have clarity to have a perfect connection. Marbas can help you understand the aspects. He may not, in my opinion, actually, never mind, because technically occult is secrecy and it's hidden. Well, astrology, there's another one. I just love it when things like this happen. You just say, you just start talking about it, and then more things just decide to come out like a floodgate. And I mean, this is exactly why I love working with these Goetia spirits and talking about them. Something comes out, and more and more and more and more and more. I'm like, go for it. And I mean, there's probably a lot more that I'm not even speaking about, and there's so much more to President Marvis. But I mean, I've gone 22 minutes. It doesn't even feel like that. It feels like only 5 minutes, but still. For right now, I believe that is a pretty good food for thought for our first segment of Gems of the Goetia with President Marbas, and we'll see who our next one will be. And I mean, that's the first one down. Now we have 71 left to go. And I mean, I think we're going to enjoy this series. So if you have any other points you want to share about President Marbas, if you've worked with him, put it down in the comments and add to this because I believe I want to make this series a segment where somebody can turn to anytime, Claudia. I want this to be like a series that anybody can go to as like a glossary. Be like, okay, so here's about President Marbas, and actually become like a big resource section. So that way, if say someone wants to go to like President Marbas, someone wants to go to him. Okay, let's see here. There's so much information about Marbas, it's unreal. But that's how I want this whole series to be, because I think it's time for them to, bring them back up to their spot where they deserve to be. So this was President Marbas, and we'll see who comes in on our next segment of Gems.